Hey guys, MC Mura here, and today we're looking at the Season 3 balance changes for Luke in Street Fighter 6. And Luke was widely considered to be one of the very best when the game first came out. Last season, it feels like most of the Luke players jumped ship to Akuma. We know that Akuma got nerfed from the yesterday video, so what happened to Luke? Or the Akuma player gonna jump back? Are they gonna keep big bagging between the two characters? That would be kinda hilarious. So let's check out the changes to Luke first. And the first change is the universal one. It's a change to his crouching light kick. He used to have a -5 on block crouching light kick. Now it's -3. So on a drive rush, it's -1 or +1. Most of the characters got something similar to that, so it's not that big of a deal. The second change is to his standing heavy kick. And standing heavy kick for Luke is kind of like a low crush button, where if the opponent is sticking out low, he kind of jump over it and he can get a punish. Right, but the thing is, they reduced the hurt box around the feet, so it is easier for him to low crush, and I think this is a very targeted nerf. I played Luke for a couple of months during season 1, and I remember Chun-Li specifically, like her crouching medium kick would stuff it, and I think JP as well. So I think this is to make it more consistent against like some of the characters that could beat his standing heavy kick, right? Should make a little bit of a difference in some matchups. That's kind of like quality of life change, but it's a welcome one. Outlaw kick, that is his back heavy kick. They made this one -3 on block, used to be -5, now it's -3. They reduced the pushback, so you are left closer to the opponent, and like you are, it does have more momentum out of a drive rush. And this is a really weird change, because it's still like only +1 and you're not in 3 range. So it's like, I don't get like why would I ever use that instead of like a medium punch? Like that's weird. It's not really like a block pressure normal anyway. So I don't know. Feels like a very, very weird change. Next up is a change to his snapback combo. That is the mediums. And the change is what you just saw. Now, he is building more drive gauge, and significant increase. Like by the end of the target combo, check this out. By the end of it, he almost got like an entire meter back. So that's good. Previously, Luke players typically would do like 2 of them into a super. That's kind of like a hit confirm. But now he builds like a decent amount. And I think this move is useful as well, because if you happen to say land like a far range crouching medium punch, you can combo into this, and that's meter and some changeover, so that's good actually. Decent damage, almost 2k, good okay, and you're getting some decent drive gauge. I say that is a good buff for him. Quality of life, but this is a game of meter and meter management, so that's a good deal. His Sand Blaster, they adjusted the hurt box around the arm, and this is specifically so that it is like better in trade wars. Like if you're doing like a really late Sand Blaster like that one, sometimes he would get hit early, so now it should be a little bit better in projectile wars. And if you happen to block it, if they happen to block it, they are losing more drive. And the same change happened to the OD as well. It now costs the opponent more drive for blocking it. And I think that is a decent buff for them. But again, like Sand Blaster is a projectile that typically people will parry. But there is a strategy with Luke where he keeps doing this. Right? It's kind of like Zamai. So that could be decent. I guess that could be decent. Now, one thing they did is that they made it so that you can, specifically regarding like the OD fireball, you can cancel into the second part later. They increased the window. So I guess like they maybe want this to be like more hit confirmable. She's just blocking everything, it's random. And I still don't think the window here allows for a hit confirm. No, I don't think it's hit confirmable, but you do have bigger window. Maybe like situational hit confirm, where it's like, all right, like I get to identify that, yeah, she is probably, my god. She is really, like I did beat a fireball, so I have more time to identify maybe that, but yeah. And to make sure that the whole thing combos, they made the second part even faster, right? So that's good. That's a good change for Luke. This next one is weird. I'm sure it's gonna be great for some players. I myself am not a big fan of, to be honest. They improved the medium flash knuckle so that you can get the fully charged version, and it will combo from a crouching heavy punch. You don't have to get the perfect to get the combo going. Right? See this? Now this is a natural combo. Just like the light uppercut, now this combos naturally without having to get the perfect. Now you are still getting less damage overall. If I got the perfect version, perfect is 1900. The regular version is gonna be 1760. But you really can drop this right now. Like even if you drop the medium perfect, you are still getting good damage. I kind of liked having to get the perfect medium flash knuckle because it added like a level of mastery to Luke. Like you really knew the good Lukes because they were the guys who never dropped the combos. But again, I know that there are players who play on a lot of different setups, having to travel to play on PlayStation versus PC, different timing, different setups. So people were prone to dropping it, and it did have a more unforgiving bread and butter compared to the rest of the roster. And he is getting less damage. So now getting the perfect is purely for damage and not really for the combo structure, which make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. I'm gonna leave that to you to interpret it. I think it's for me it's I'm not the biggest fan, and they made it so that if the opponent happened to drive impact, Luke, it used to like recover faster on a drive impact, but the idea is the opponents were like using drive impact there between the crouching heavy and the medium knuckle, but since it never drops now anyways, that's kind of like a pointless change. Overdrive aerial flash knuckles. That is the air. That's the air flash knuckle. It's a move that you never see. This one. So apparently the juggle state here is a little bit different. I can't for the life of me get anything to juggle. The recovery is so long. Oh my god, we got the DP. So that is a change. This is actually I've been testing for a while. This is the first time I actually managed to get this. The timing is extremely difficult, but apparently you can get that now. Not sure if that used to work, but they definitely, like I can tell visually that the juggle state is different. But yeah, you can get a light DP after now. But it's such a hard juggle. The timing is super weird. The timing and the recovery and the buffer window is super weird, but yeah, like you are getting juggles easier. They are floating closer to you now. And since we are on this topic, the light punch uppercut, this now have improved juggle state combos. You're getting better juggles. So I already know and have seen like two different juggles. If you gotten like the perfect knuckle here, you get like a double light uppercut, which is good, like they're buffing his corner damage a little bit. And I think on this combo, the one where you get supers, you can now use like a light uppercut as well at the end, which is alright. But Luke is still kind of weird because his mid-screen, like his mid-screen combos, especially if you got the perfect, right? Like this is like 340, let's say 3.5k, but in the corner, what he used to get, which is that meterless, that was 3k. I feel like he's one of the very few characters who get less damage in the corner, which is kind of weird. And I imagine that they are targeting this. They want to improve his corner damage. But even with meter, even in the corner, even with meter, with this combo, what he's getting is not that much. Maybe you can get a super here, I imagine, but still, he's still getting like 3.3k, and I'm spending 2 bars, so I don't know. Overdrive Impaler, that is the overhead, as he made this one -3 on block. Now this move have 8 active frames. So if it's -3 on block, this means that this one can be meaty, and it probably could be plus. So let's actually check this out. I haven't really tested it that much. Let's make her block after the first hit. -3 still. +2, yeah. +2 meet you overhead, that's actually not that bad. Other setups, maybe after uppercut. That looks almost auto-timed, actually. Yeah. 0. So there's definitely something there. There is definitely gonna be something there. Is this good enough to replace the Oki you're currently going for? This one have to be a little bit delayed. 0. But yeah, we saw that you can get a +2, so I'm sure Luke players will come with some setups. What's actually like the hit situation afterwards? You get a DP. Alright. Can I get like a beast mode baby? I think if I get a BB, then I get it, yeah, right? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously gonna have to wait and see what you can get, but sounds pretty cool. Overall, I don't know if these changes are dramatic for Luke. There are like some quality of life changes here and there. Definitely very mild buffs. And probably the biggest buff to Luke are the Akuma nerfs, so we will see.